Hey, welcome back to Mr. Menta's ELL classroom. To complete this lesson, you are going to need this page, page 162 in the textbook, and this page, page 134 in the activity book. I want you to print both of those if you have access to a printer. As always, they are in the description in the YouTube section. If you do not have access to a printer, as always, just pull them up on your computer to read along and write the answers on a separate sheet of paper. You will also need a separate sheet of paper to complete this anyway. So you're going to need 3 pieces of paper. Both of these and a sheet of paper. All right, first activity. So we're pretty late in chapter 17 now, which as I've mentioned is the last chapter in the book. So they're getting a little difficult. They've got a reading exercise for you that it's nice and long. You should be able to read this no problem now that we've spent all this time studying our English skills. So we're going to get some reading practice here. You're going to read the story, and then you're going to answer questions about the story, okay? So first, over here, you have a list of questions that you're going to answer, such as, like this, number 1, where was Maria born? You're going to read the story, and then on your separate sheet of paper, I want you to write number 1 and write, Maria was born in where? Okay? And then number 2, you see number 2, it said, did she grow up in a large city? So when you get a question like this, I want you to practice answering the way we answer the questions. Like, you're going to answer either, yes, she did, or you're going to say, no, she didn't. And then give me a second sentence. No, she didn't. She grew up in a small town, or whatever it's going to say. Okay? So we're practicing the same things we already did in this chapter. I do not want you to write short one-word answers. Every one of these should be 1 or 2 sentences long, okay? Complete sentences. Okay? Good. All right. So next, we're going to do this one. This one I like. You really got to think about this one, okay? This one, it says, what's the order? Put the sentences in the correct order based on the story. Okay, so here is where you'll need your printed page. Take your page where you printed this out. They wrote number 1 here, Maria grew up in a small village. That's the first thing that happened in the story. Now you got to read all of these together and then find out where am I going to write number 2. What's number 2? What's the second thing that happened? What's the third thing that happened? What's the fourth thing that happened? Okay, you got to put a number next to them. Say, when did they happen in the story? Number 1, number 2, number 3, okay? It's tricky. You gotta really have to think about it, okay? All right, so you go ahead and do that. First, go back and read the story, then do this section, then do this section. When you're done with all that, come back to me and I'll talk about it with you. So pause the video now and get to work. Okay. Did you pause the video and do the work? All right. So, let's go over this. Number 1. I'll have my book here. Number 1. Where was Maria born? Maria Gomez was born in Peru. She was born in Peru. Number 2. Did she grow up in a large city? No, she didn't. She grew up in a small village. You should write it just like that, the way we practiced, okay? Number 3, when did she begin school? She began school when she was 6 years old. And notice they got a little star down here. Notice this thing here they wanted to show us here. The word begin, the past tense of begin is began. So we say began in the past, okay? Number 4. What happened when Maria was 17 years old? Okay. When Maria was 17 years old, her family moved to the United States. Number 5. Why was Maria unhappy when she arrived in the United States? When Maria arrived in the United States, she wasn't happy. She missed her friends back in Peru, and she didn't speak one word of English. What is Maria's occupation? Do we know this word? Occupation? Occupation means her job. What job does she have? Okay? She worked in a factory. Okay? But after she learned English, she got a good job as a secretary. Okay? So, that's actually not clear what they're talking about. If they say, what is Maria's occupation, though, I guess they mean now. So our answer should be secretary. So, Maria is a secretary. What does she want to do in the future? She wants to work for an advertising company someday and write commercials. How does Maria communicate with her friends back home? She communicates with them often over the internet. Okay, did you get all that? All right, so now let's go on to this section, and let's see if we can get this. This might be tricky. All right, so, number 1, Maria grew up in a small village, okay? What happened next? Then, looks like probably she went to elementary school. Yes, I believe that's number 2. Yeah. Then, number 2, Maria went to elementary school. Okay? And probably her family moved to the United States next. Does that sound right? Number 3. Yes, I believe that would be number 3. Number 3, Maria moved to the United States. Okay? Now, what happened next? Did they move to Los Angeles or did they move to San Francisco next? When she was 17 years old, first they lived in Los Angeles, then they moved in San Francisco. So next, what did I say? That was 4, so this would be next. 5, Los Angeles. 6, San Francisco. Oh, I hope I didn't just lose count. Forgive me if I did. They should still be in this order. It was 1, 2, she went to elementary school. 3, they moved to the United States. 4, they lived in Los Angeles. 5, they lived in San Francisco. Okay, good. All right. So, next we have, she began to study English at night. Okay? Next, after that, she worked at a shoe factory. Although, it's funny, it just says a factory here. But, oh no, did I miss one? I missed one! Oh, I'm sorry. She worked at a shoe factory. That was much earlier. I'll bet you did the same thing, right? Sorry. She grew up in a small village, okay? Then, number 2, she went to elementary school. Number 3, she worked at a shoe factory. Number 4, her family moved to the United States. Number 5, her family moved to Los Angeles. Number 6, her family moved to San Francisco. Okay. Number 7, she began to study English every night. Number 8, Maria got a job as a secretary. And number 9, Maria studies advertising now. Did I get all those? Yeah. I got thrown off by this one because it was the shoe factory instead of the other job where she worked at a factory. But, you know, that shows how tricky this is. Even I didn't get one. That's why it's good practice for you. I hope you got it, okay? I hope you enjoyed watching me mess up for your amusement there. The important thing is that we learned and we read and we got some practice reading and thinking about reading. Let's go on to the next one. Next page, we have this. A nice, long fill-in-the-blank section. Okay? So now on this one, you've got a set of words at the top. So a lot of choices. We have verbs and nouns. Okay? Any of these words are going to go in here. You fill in the blank. Okay? I think you should be pretty clear on how to do this. Read, figure out which word goes in the blank. We've done that kind of thing before. So fill it in, and when you're done, come back to me. All right? Pause the video now and fill in the blanks. Oh, and don't worry about the listening section at the bottom yet. We'll get to that later. For now, just do this top section, okay? Did you pause the video and do the top section? Okay, so let's go over the answers. Tell me, what did you look like when you were young? Were you tall? And remember, capital letter, because this is the beginning of a sentence. Did you remember your capital? Okay. No, I wasn't. I was short. Okay. Did you have straight hair? No, I didn't. I had curly hair? Yes, curly hair. Oh, and did you have dimples? No, I didn't. But I had, what did we talk about here? Freckles. Okay, so dimples. Do you know what dimples are? Dimples, this word, that's when you have these little holes in your mouth when you smile. I don't really have it, but it's like you got this little thing that sticks into your cheek. I probably look like I'm crazy right now. And then freckles. We know freckles, right? Those are the little brown dots on your face or in your body. I'm sure you were very cute. What did you do with your friends? We played sports. Oh, what sports? Oh, I'm sorry. What did you play? I'm all over the place on this video. We played basketball and tennis. Tell me, did you like school? There we go. Sorry. Did you like school? Yes, I liked school a lot. What was your favorite subject? Favorite class? I got it. What were your favorite subjects? You had to figure out the answer to this one before you could figure out the answer to this one. Okay. We're working our way through it. You can see the thought process here. English and mathematics. Did you have a hobby? Yes, I did. I played chess. Okay, good. And last section, let's have a look at this listening. Okay, listening page 134. Okay. So, I am going to read a question, and you are going to choose the answer that would fit the question. Okay? So like number 1, I'd say, where were you born? And you circle, I was born in Japan. Because I said where. See? If I said, when were you born? You'd say I was born last week. Although that still wouldn't make sense, because if you were born last week, you couldn't talk. But you have to understand, so you have to make sure your answer fits the question. All right? We'll go over them as we go. Number 2, where did you grow up? Circle one of these. You should circle this. The question was, where did you grow up? The answer, I grew up in Tokyo. Okay? Number 3, what was your favorite subject in school? Okay. You should have circled A, English. Okay? What was your favorite subject in school? English. Number 4, when did you move here? You should have circled this one. When did you move here? Last year. Okay. Number 5. What did you look like when you were young? Okay, should have circled A. What did you look like when you were young? I was tall and thin. Number 6. Did you have freckles? Should be B. No, I had dimples. Although that doesn't necessarily follow logically, but they're both talking about your face. Dimples would be here, freckles could be anywhere. Number 7. What do you do in your spare time? B. I play chess. Because I asked what do you do, not what did you do. This is past, this is present. And number 8. Did you have a favorite hero? Yes. B. Yes, my father. My father's my favorite hero. I guess that's kind of sweet. My favorite hero was Spider-Man, and then Captain America. But he said his favorite hero is his father. That's sweet. Okay, that is the end of that exercise. Good work. I will see you on the next one.